What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. I have one envelope here that has a return name on it. However, I have a couple more here that I think are related. With that being said, I think the other two returns also played for the same team that this individual also was associated with. So this will probably be a theme video where all three successes are the same team. So let me open the first envelope here, which is postmarked from Pennsylvania. And it is former, indeed, Cincinnati Bengal and former NFL color analyst Bob Trumpy on 1, 2, 3, and 4. And these are out of the broadcaster set that came out in 1989 or 90. I can't remember what year. But it featured all of the current broadcasters in the NFL for CBS, NBC, ESPN, ABC, on down the list. Mr. Trumpy at that time was at the peak of his career in announcing, I would say. And we'll talk a little bit about him. Okay, so Bob Trumpy played his college football at the University of Utah. He was tight end, and he was actually drafted very, very lowly in the 12th round with a 301st pick in the 1968 draft. Despite the odds of him probably not having a bright NFL career, he overcame those odds, and he actually played for the Cincinnati Bengals at tight end from 1968 to 1977. During that tenure, he was an All-Star 2 times in 1968 and 9, and also a Pro Bowler when they started the Pro Bowl. So a 4-time Pro Bowler, All-Star, whatever you want to call it. So over his career, he caught over 4,500 yards and scored 35 touchdowns. This was during the era that Ken Anderson was the quarterback, probably during and before, I would say. Ken played well into the 80s, so I know probably in the early parts of the 70s. And after spending that time in the NFL, he actually got into the broadcasting booth in 1978, right after his career ended. And he worked for NBC for many years, worked on Monday Night Football, did some Super Bowls, et cetera, et cetera. He did, NBC. He also hosted some weeknight sports talk show in Cincinnati from 1980 to 1989 on the radio. It said he also did some assignments for NBC Sports, such as the PGA Tour and Olympics. Eventually, Chris Collinsworth was the one that replaced him, also a former Bengal. And he still continues to go to this day, Chris Collinsworth. Also did some time for Sunday Night Football from 2000 to 2007 on the radio. 2007 he was still going, and I don't see him, still broadcasting according to his Wikipedia page. I could be wrong, but as of 2007 it doesn't look like he's done much broadcasting. He was named the 2014 recipient of the Pete Rozelle Radio Television Award, given by the Pro Football Hall of Fame for lifetime achievement in NFL broadcasting. So he is in the Hall of Fame as a broadcaster, technically. So not as a player, but very fine player over his career. One of those people that worked very, very hard, to get to the top of his game. Given that he was such a low round draft pick, he probably never expected to have a 10-year career in 4 of those years as an all-star in the league. So thank you very much, Mr. Trumpy. Very happy to add your Cincinnati Bengals cards to my collection. All right, so this next one is, I guess I'll spoil the surprise on this one, but this is also a success from, and this is technically a autograph, I guess, but from Sam Wyche the former quarterback / coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. And as you can see, he wrote Pickens, South Carolina on the envelope, and it's postmarked from Greenville, South Carolina. So that is the envelope, and I will tear that open up real fast here. I gotta be very careful. I don't want to mess up the envelope because there is an autograph. And he actually did return all 3 cards signed. 1, 2, and 3. 3 of 3 from Mr. Wyche. And he is the former Cincinnati Bengals coach / quarterback. He actually played for them and also coached them. And up until, I was reading his Wikipedia page, and up until 2011, he was the all-time winningest coach in Cincinnati Bengals history until Marvin Lewis passed him on that list. So we're going to go from his coaching career backwards. So I normally don't do that, but we're going to go reversed this way. He is still, to this day, a offensive coordinator at a high school in Pickens, South Carolina, at Pickens High School. So if you go to a game in South Carolina against Pickens High School, you will still see Sam on the sidelines working just like he did in the NFL sidelines and his college career, whatever you want to call it. So he was with Pickens High School, or still is with Pickens High School, according to this, in various capacities. He was a quarterback coach and offensive coordinator. Previous to that, he worked with the Buffalo Bills as a quarterback's coach. But most notably, he was the coach of the Cincinnati Bengals from 1984 to 1991, and then the coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from 92 to 95. Previous to that, he also coached 1 year at Indiana University, and he also was an assistant coach at South Carolina and also coached for the San Francisco 49ers as an assistant. But previous to his coaching career, he also was a quarterback. So makes sense, he's a quarterback's coach. He played for the Continental Football League, the CFL, for the Wheeling Ironmen from 1966 to 67, and then signed his first NFL contract with the expansion team, the Cincinnati Bengals. He spent 2 seasons with the Bengals, 68 to 70, and then spent 3 seasons with the Redskins, 1971 to 73, 1 year with the Detroit Lions, and 1 year with the St. Louis Football Cardinals as well. So he was a well-traveled quarterback. His head NFL coaching record was under 500. He had 84 wins and 107 losses for his career. However, his postseason career winning is 3 wins and 2 losses. So when he did get to the playoffs, he actually has a winning career record. So if you guys have not seen it, Mr. Wyche does have a commercial as he talks about how he is a recipient of a organ transplant. He would not be alive to this day if it weren't for that donation to keep him alive. He is a spokesperson for organ donation, and I will definitely, down in the listing below, if you want to check out that info commercial. I don't want to say infomercial, but commercial, with Mr. Wyche, you can definitely check it out. It's only about a minute long, so it won't take too much of your time, just to sit down and check that out. So thank you very much, Mr. Wyche, for signing the 3 cards and also the envelope. I wasn't expecting that. So that's kind of an added bonus autograph to this equation. And we will move on to the next person. All right. Now this final envelope is actually postmarked from Nashville, Tennessee. So I am quite aware of who this is, and I am correct. And this is one of the most unique autograph stories I will share with you guys. Mike Reid on 1, 2, 3, and these are the Wonder Bread cards. See the little Wonder Bread up in the corner there. And a 4th, All-Pro card with Merlin Olsen. So, Mike Reid. And yes, this is the same Mike Reid that is a country music musician and writer. Mike Reid played at Penn State University as a football player. He was a defensive tackle that was selected in the first round by the Cincinnati Bengals in the 1970 draft. With the Cincinnati Bengals, he made a name for himself and actually was in 2 Pro Bowls in 1972 and 73, and also was a first-team All-Pro in 72 and 73 as well. He was an All-American in college. He won the Maxwell Award and the Outland Trophy while in college, and was one of the top defensive players probably in the history of college football. And he was at the top of his game in the NFL, and he chose to walk away. He only spent 4 years as a pro. So why did he do that? What was his true passion that he decided to give up a career in the NFL as one of the top players in the NFL, as an all-pro? I mean, this is an all-pro player, to pursue a career in country music. He became a country music performer, writer, and he walked away, and this is from his Wikipedia page, so again, I don't know how accurate this is, but he decided to work on his career in the country music industry. You know, it says that due to injuries, it made him choose, the chance to walk away from the game. Now, he received his BA in music while at Penn State University. When he left the NFL, it says that he formed a band that began playing at a Holiday Inn located across the Ohio River from Cincinnati. And I don't know, I don't know the Cincinnati area that well, but he went from playing, at the top of the game for the Bengals to just filling a hotel room with some music, trying to make it as a starving artist like so many others have in the country music industry. It was at that point that he decided to move to Nashville in 1980, and he started writing songs for Ronnie Milsap and Larry Gatlin, and I'll show a couple pictures right here of those guys. So he wrote a smash hit and won a Grammy Award for Ronnie Milsap with the song called Stranger in My House. This was written by Mike Reid. Not performed, but written by. He would move on after winning that Grammy in 1984 to write songs for Marie Osmond, Tanya Tucker, Colin Ray, Alabama, and Conway Twitty. In the 1980s and 90s, Reid wrote 12 #1 singles for various different groups that I just mentioned. So, still to this day, this is the unique thing. This is probably the most unique Hall of Famer I'm going to throw out for you guys. Mike Reid is in the College Football Hall of Fame for being one of the top college football players ever in the history of the game. And in 2005, he was inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. So this is a dual Hall of Famer. And this is the first Nashville Songwriters Hall of Famer that I've ever obtained, I could probably say. But so Mike Reid, for many of you that did not know, is a performer not just on the football field, but also in the country music world. Because of copyright reasons, I can't share the music with you. However, if I can find some links to the music that he has written, I will, put a couple links down at the bottom, but I can't play them during this video for obvious copyright reasons. So, very cool to add this Cincinnati Bengal to my collection. Very happy that Mr. Wyche also signed for me, and very happy to add Mr. Trumpy to the collection. So we are going to call this video the Cincinnati Bengals video. And as you know, I have a special helper that always helps me with my videos. So I'm going to show you that during the filming of this Cincinnati Bengals video, I had my big kitty watching me the whole time. So there's a special appearance by my Cincinnati Bengal. He's not a Cincinnati Bengal, but he's a big fan of the Tigers, the Bengals, the Lions, etc. However, his favorite pastime is watching the Cardinals. And I'm not talking about the baseball Cardinals. I'm talking about the birds that fly by his window. He wants to try to eat them. So one of his favorite pastimes is watching the Cardinals. So there you go. So hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. Very happy to add these great Cincinnati Bengals to my collection and have a little special appearance by my little guy that's a big football and baseball fan, just like I am. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.